Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the Capital Improvement Committee meeting of Wednesday, February 12th at 2 p.m. Today we're just discussing, we've had a few requests on capital in our previous meetings, so we're just going over some of them. I chose not to have anybody else come in because we have to strategize how we're doing the capital. Just to remind everybody, in the fall, which is part of this fiscal year, we did school security, fire department, and EMS, Lucas CPR devices, town hall and police department, LED lighting upgrade, post office lighting upgrade, for a total of $438,000, I'm sorry, 438,533. And I'm noting that purposely just so people are aware of the fact that of the monies that we're spending, right? We kind of forget the fall after we get to the spring. Currently, we had the fire department HVAC and electrical upgrades and some minor general work that had to be done there, and that we had gone to fall town meeting and had some extra funds put into that budget. When it went out to bid, it ultimately, the prices came in much higher, probably about 15% higher than what we had. So obviously we didn't hand out those contracts. So what we're doing now is we're reevaluating that project to make sure that it's 100% of what we want, and if there's anything that we can reduce the overall scope of the work to get it back down to a manageable level. That most likely might get pushed off until the fall, for the fall town meeting to do that. And that's part of our capital budget. If you recall, we had the school department come in for their roof. They wanted to either do the seams of the roof for $140,000 and or replace the roof, a section of the roof, for about $440,000. Well, since they've come in, the MSBA has an accelerated repair program that the school is going to submit a statement of interest to see if they can get some funding for that project. So like the, what I just talked about with the fire department, we may hold off on that until the fall to see what happens with that funding, right? What we're still going to do in this round, if everybody agrees, obviously, is maintain the $360,000 match that we do for the road repairs, and the $100,000 that we put into the special stabilization account for the fire truck. If you recall, the fire chief came in with the request as well for the fire truck. That I had spoke to him because between the cost of the fire truck and the cost of the roof, we're going to ultimately have to decide on that. And I had asked him if it's possible that he could postpone that until next year's submissions to give us some room to consider the roof project. And he said that was a strong possibility that he could do that. It's also my understanding that he's going to request one of the ambulance replacements, but that comes out of ambulance receipts, but it's still technically under the capital program, so he's going to have to come back in so we can put that on our list. It doesn't come out of the free cash portion of it, it's out of the ambulance receipts. I did talk to Gene, and there is a sufficient amount of funds in there to fund one of those. There was somewhere around $460,000 now for an ambulance that's fully outfitted. So one other thing that hasn't come in front of you as of yet is we're constantly trying to nudge towards expanding and being able to expand into the second floor of this building. That's part of the reason why we're some of the ARPA funds got assigned to the depot project to upgrade that water line, which would include bringing in a new water line to this building to allow for that expansion of the sprinkler system to the second floor. Along with that, over the last year and a half or so, the Recreation Committee had, I guess it's a committee, had agreed to switch storage spaces with us so we could take the old locker rooms and start moving towards using that for the clerk storage, and that'll free up some of the other storage that we use. She has stuff upstairs, she has stuff in these closets over in this area. That particular area has no heat or air conditioning or anything in there. We already have a problem with our ancient records as far as deterioration and whatever else affects these things, climate issues. So in here, there's a quote for $21,200 for a HVAC system, a ductless system to put into that area. I did reach out to Adam because the date on that is October 31st of 2024 to make sure that's accurate. So when we're going to meet again between now and December 18th, because I have to have, unless Jean, she's looking at me funny, and unless I'm wrong on the dates, I just need to know when.
December?
Huh?
I heard December.
Oh, did I say December? Okay, March.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, I'm old. Anyways, March 18th, if that's the last time that we can decide on this, that's when the warrant closes on the,
Yeah, because the
For the-
FinCom is meeting on the 25th.
Right.
And the public hearing is
Right.
on April 8th.
so prior to the 18th, over the next couple of weeks, I'd like to meet again so we can finalize our decisions on this, and maybe we can firm up some of our information that we have to make sure it's accurate. But it's just an overview of where we're at now. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that for myself, the town administrator, or finance director. Yes.
What are the funds, 70 or 90 for the highway that we're matching?
Oh, the 360 for the Chapter 90 funds?
Chapter
They get
90.
360,000 a year, which hopefully it goes up, but we have been consistently for the last few years putting in 360,000 for the road repair, the Chapter 90 match.
I read in the paper several weeks ago that the gas tax was going down because of, and is that what funds?
Chapter
Chapter
90, and you probably don't get stopped enough, but I know this because I do once in a while. When they cite the Mass General laws, it says -90 on the end, on people's tickets and everything else. is
Oh,
Chapter
on your
90
gas
fund.
tax.
Yeah.
So it is, but because of the electric cars getting popular,
I don't know.
well, it
I
was in
do
the
my
paper.
part with my diesel
You only
truck to offset the electric cars, but I don't know if that
Okay.
has any drastic impact on it or not.
Okay, so you heard nothing?
No, I haven't heard anything on that.
Some electric car owners in some states are surcharged.
Right,
to
exactly.
pay up for the gas tax,
Yeah.
and not pay it.
Yeah. I might have read it in a Vermont paper. Boston Globe isn't talking about it, I guess.
That's over the border, though.
Yeah, well, no, across, yeah, right.
Anybody else have any thoughts, questions, or anything on what
I have another
tried-
question.
Made an attempt to explain?
On the school project with the funding for the, by the state, maybe funding the roofing needs.
Yeah, and I don't know to what extent. So they're
Yeah.
submitting I wrote this down to make sure I said the right thing, statement of interest to the MSBA. What does MSBA stand for, Gene?
Mass Building Authority, Massachusetts Building Authority.
Right. For an accelerated repair program, so hopefully we get some funding on that.
Is that, is the state being nice about what their application would be? I mean, as opposed
I
to making
have-
them go
this is-
through the roof to
I have no
make the
idea.
roof?
The only thing that, this came to my attention through the selectmen's process because they were on our agenda to get us to vote in support of that. Or in support of it or authorize it, Matt?
I believe it's an authorization.
All right, so authorize them to submit a statement of interest.
But at that point, you'll know whether it's a matching grant or a percentage of
Yeah, well, when
your
Paul-
needs or...
when the school superintendent comes in on Tuesday, I'll make sure that I ask that question, so then I have more information for us. Plus, you'll be able to watch us on YouTube. Yes.
So Mike, I missed the last meeting, but I just have this list for FY 2026. Are there lots of changes in these that,
We really haven't made, well, on the 26th, okay, let me,
I expect some costs to go up for some of those things?
yeah, so I don't have it on this one. It would be on my spring one, so I just grabbed the fall meeting. The, whatever is on that list, the only thing that we'll be considering for the next budget would most likely be the fire department upgrades as well as the potentially portion of the roof with the school. Because those are big ticket items that were unexpected that came in. And we're halfway through the stream with the fire department. We need to satisfy that.
Two questions. On the school, don't we usually have to fund the entire thing and then get a reimbursement?
I have no idea. Gene, would you know that?
I didn't hear.
Fund the entire school roof repair and then we would get a reimbursement after the fact?
Depends on how the programs run. The last time we did the middle school and the elementary, they kind of paid their percentage as you went.
Okay.
So there would be no debt expense.
Okay.
I don't know if they changed. It's been some time. I don't know if they changed it since then.
And a minor thing, just on the solar, or, I mean, LED lighting. Do we know if we got the 50% coverage from National Grid? It was listed as a potential National Grid 50%.
Gene, would you have any knowledge of that if it was successful? On the grant, the matching from Grid for the LED lighting, was Matt Benoit successful in getting that? I believe he was, but
He did receive it,
he
granted.
did receive it. Okay.
So,
I don't know if it's for this one. There were a couple.
Yeah, but I believe he did that because it had to be done by the end of the calendar year. That's why he was anxious to get that done.
120,000, but it's not really only 60 if we got the 50%.
And we're still working through our budget as to what we would actually have available for free cash between turnouts. So you have to get the letters back to Gene and to close out the different accounts that may have a few pennies left in them. Anybody else have anything? Anybody have any questions for Matt or Gene? Because I don't want to keep them here just to sit through it if we don't have anything.
So are we pretty sure the amount of money we'll have to spend for capital stuff? Is that?
No, we're not pretty sure on that. We're waiting for some closeout documents or memos to go to Gene so we know what the turnbacks are going to be on certain things and finalizing the free cash portion of it.
When do you expect your next meeting?
That's what we're going to discuss, but we have to do it before the 18th. So
Yeah, I'll try to get the closeout memo
Yeah.
prior to that.
Right.
See if I can get all the bills paid.
I'm just going to look up on the see when the 18th actually is, because that's what Lisa gave me for a date. So the 18th is a Tuesday, so by March 14th, I would like to have a meeting.
So Mike, this list again, the FY 2026, we had a total of 1.269 mil. Might it be a lot higher or lower, or have we had any?
A lot of those things might not be done on the list, because you're already at 460,000 for the Chapter 90, which is 360 plus the 100 going in.
Yeah.
And then if we consider that 21,000, so you'd be at 481. So the school roof project was 440,000 or 140. It makes no sense, if you want my opinion, makes no sense to do seams on a roof that's old. Just either fix it or not, right? You're better off replacing it and getting it off your plate. And then the fire department, we're still working through those figures. We have some monies in there, but we got to see exactly what we're going to need for that. So I'm a little overly cautious to make sure that we have funding to do what we have to do, even though we have that projected, and things might get bumped a little bit. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked through it. I will look through that. That'll be something that we're going to discuss at our next meeting. That way people are aware, and we're also in agreement as to what we're doing.
So our tentative next meeting date is?
That's, if everybody's here sometime during the week ending on Friday is the 14th. The 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. That'll give the maximum amount of time to get some of the answers. We could meet tomorrow, but we need to wait to make sure that staff has time to get their answers that they need to get. Oh,
For the entire week.
yeah.
So the next meeting will be in March, then?
Yep, March, because there's no reason to meet ahead of time, I don't believe. So March 12th is a Wednesday. If we could do March 12th at 2 PM, if that works for everybody. Thursdays, I do not do anything that involves Jean. Whether it's on the right week or not, I just do not do Thursdays with Jean. So March 12th works for you? Everybody here?
Yes.
Yes.
At 2?
Yes. Works for you, Ellie?
Yep.
All right, I don't think we have to torture the finance director or the administrator any further, because nobody seems to have any questions for them, so you guys are welcome to stay if you like, but if you want to leave, that's perfectly fine too. Matt, do you have anything to add to any of this? No? All right, so the only other thing we have is to go over the minutes. Thank you. Yeah, try one of those cookies. Did you try one, Gene? No. Get one.
Yeah, please do.
Matt, you should try one. You're gonna like it. I'm telling you.
Doing so bad.
Yeah, I know, but it's
Well,
only
yeah.
thin. Look how thin that thing is.
Yeah,
I'm like, what's the plate for?
they're very thin, yeah.
Thank you.
There we go.
They're really good. You're gonna have to hide the plate because he's gonna come back.
I'm back.
The sweetener,
With honey?
brown sugar, and, yeah, it's brown sugar, basically.
Really good.
Very good. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
That's why you were dismissing me, so I wouldn't notice the cookies.
Well, I was wondering why you weren't leaving.
Well, it's like everybody that works here has said no. And then the people that don't work here, or they, aren't paid on the payroll, have said yes. So you're one of the few people. Well, then Matt, too. He did it, so it's these two.
So anyway, John did have, in a minute, you'll see that when they did come in, they did talk about replacing ambulance out of ambulance receipts. So that's already been discussed.
Are we doing minutes now?
Yes.
I had a thought.
Yep.
that perhaps, there was somewhere here. It must be under 2 somewhere, where it said, at the next meeting in December, yeah, this is the last paragraph, their next agenda for December, I would just cut out the for December, at their next agenda, because it's now February, and this is our next meeting, so.
Where was that?
It's in the last,
Paragraph, first page.
Last paragraph.
Yep. I was reading, well, the other one had all the times, and my eyes kept going to that one, but I didn't actually listen to what everybody was telling me to go to the last paragraph.
Oh, this is talking about putting it on the building and facilities December agenda, not on our agenda for December.
the committee, further discuss. The committee, that's us, isn't it?
Yeah, to put it on our next agenda
On there.
about referring it to the, okay, yep. And we may have said that, so
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with
Just in the future.
having it read that way. We just have to pay attention if we could say our next meeting.
I know, but so then, in 20 years from now, when they're reading these minutes,
Yeah.
just drooling over them, are they going to try to find the December minutes?
One would hope, and we get the watch.
They can check it, cross-check against posted meetings.
Everything in this building is like a treasure hunt when you're trying to find it.
Yeah.
But you're correct, Ellie. We shouldn't have referred to something that didn't happen, so. Okay, so is that the only edit?
I move we approve the minutes of October 30, 2024 as amended.
Yeah. Motion's made and seconded. The only discussion I'm going to say is the only amendment was in the last paragraph, first page, we're going to remove for December, which is, so the sentence will read, the committee further discussed the school roof project and putting the primary school roof project on their next agenda about referring to the building and facilities.
Which we didn't do.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining because I wasn't here.
Okay. The, let's talk about that right now. Do we want to refer this to the Building and Facilities Committee?
Do we have to?
It's over $50,000, and according to the bylaw that was adopted April 10th, 2010, any projects over, it was 10,000 at that time, and then it got changed to 50,000 to match the state, that any projects over that go through the building and facilities
So I
process.
say we should.
Yes.
I move we refer it.
I'll second.
Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing as none, all in favor?
Aye.
Rather do that than have it bite us or the project down the line. Delay it.
Well, I spent a lot of time on that particular committee, and I like following the rules with it. There's a reason why it's there. And I just think it's a good idea to stay in that. Sometimes people disagree with me, but that's okay. Shirley, do you need a memo sent to you or from this committee, or could you handle that?
Why don't you, just to make it
Okay.
clear, send it to Jen? Then there won't be any questions.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to meet on 3/12, was it?
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Wednesday.
At 2 PM. And there's no reason to get more specific on this. Typically, this is how we do it. The agenda item is just going to say review capital requests and possible votes, because it covers everything that's on there. We don't, this particular committee doesn't get into a whole bunch of different subjects. We're only reviewing capital requests and setting our proposed budget. The other thing is, we need to generate our fifth year for a capital plan, so we have to figure that out. I'll look into the capital requests that we have and get them emailed to everybody. That way we can have something to set that list for the fifth year. 5 years out, I'm not overly worried about what it is, because we can refine them each year as we go. We probably should look at what's on the fourth year of the current list to make sure it's accurate, because some of the stuff, because of our discussion today, is actually going to move now, and that's going to start shifting things. So some of it will probably already create the fifth year. What I'll do is capital requests and the current plan. Send it to everybody so they have it.
I wonder, Mike, if one strategy would be, for instance, we have the stuff that says FY 2026. If there were some things from this list that we weren't able to do, just shift them down to the next.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying, that they're going to
Just kind of
get shifted forward, but we have to be cautious not just to do that, because some particular things might be time sensitive in the schedule.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just
Yeah.
push them and then we make a mistake, because depending on what it is, some things are time sensitive to keep a rotation going.
Yep.
The big things.
Huh?
The big things.
Correct. Yep. Okay, just to recap, I'm going to have a memo sent over to refer the school roof project to the building and facilities. That's on the primary school. Our next meeting is going to be on March 12th at 2 PM. I'm going to have the capital requests and the current capital plan emailed to everybody so they have it. And then we'll go over that and create our fifth year at our next meeting. A little confusing year, but it's kind of an easier year because we don't have a lot to work with, so, and because we got such large projects, it kind of wipes out all the little things. So with that, if nobody else has anything else, we could adjourn, and I can keep my promise to Brandon.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.